So, just got back from 3 weeks working. Got good news and bad news on stuff relative to the car while I was away. But I was working mainly between Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah, which is gorgeous, like absolutely stunning. Things would work good with the work project, and now I'm home. So just went to the gym. I've been trying to lose a little bit of weight, which really has not actually been working all that great, because when I left, I was like 168 pounds. I'm trying to lose 10 pounds. I ate really well. I lost body fat, but I am now like 170 pounds. And I have no idea what happened there, but it could have just been some of the adjustments I made to my diet. Maybe it kicked up my testosterone levels a little bit. Who knows, but still trying to do so. Went to the gym, had a workout, actually ran into one of my old athletes. I worked in athletics for 10 years, had numerous swimmers go Division I on scholarships and so on, and ran into one at the gym. And it's been a few years. He now works in production in LA, and great kid. Had to give him a hard time. And because he kept doing, he went from leg press to leg curl to all these machines, and I was like, do you not use anything that I taught you over the 3 years that we worked together? Come on. But it was good to see him. Today is getting back to starting to put the front end back together. I technically still have the core support to sand and paint, but I'm not too worried about that right now. I may wait on addressing that until later, because it's not integral that I get that on right away. Get the inner fenders on. What things look like underneath here. I had to make sure I weighed down this car cover, since it's a little long without the front end on the car, but it did the job. So I haven't really actually seen the front end after it dried, after giving it that quick paint job. So we'll try to take a good look at that here this morning. Now, now that it's been all painted, it's dry, it looks pretty good. Pretty good for not a show car. Okay, so we have the passenger side here, and it looks okay. The one thing I did do is get a tumbler and ended up tumbling all the hardware here so that it's pretty clean as this goes back together. I actually have the shims for the upper mount that would go right here in there, and just trying to get this thing to where it's got good clean parts and requires just a little bit of touch-up when I get this assembled. One of the things I want to make sure is that I have the right bolts for all this stuff. I believe there's the 3 bolts that go in here, which are like these. They're a little longer, a little thinner than these guys, which are for the
more so for the lower holes as we go along. But some of you may have noticed that I actually changed the name on the YouTube account, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So these will actually go on here like this. They actually hook in to 2 of these. So, but you have to make sure that you don't get these all down too tight when putting the front end on. So hopefully I can do this without messing that up. Make sure these threads are clean. Okay, let's try this out. One-man team. Trying to get it started is a little tougher than I was expecting, but that's okay. Okay, couple threads. Then I'm about to go underneath and like hook this in on one. Maybe. Well, got one shim in. Got the second one in, and then that one should line up. So the uppers are started. Just that alone makes it already feel like a success today. Nothing crazy. Should be pretty straightforward. These have just a flat washer on each side. First one, easy peasy. Let's hope the rest of them go that way and nothing falls out. I don't like putting gunky hardware on refinished pieces, so that's why I tossed all this stuff in the tumbler to try to get it ready, and I'm super happy I did. Because I'll just come back and I'll actually just hit these with a little black paint once I get everything snugged up. Now I haven't snugged anything down yet, but man, like that already is looking so much better. Having all this painted and taken care of, man, that makes me happy. Let's get this one done. Gonna slide in the shims. Boom. Easy peasy. Nice and smooth. Now to do the bottoms, get all this tightened up. All right, so we have a front clip again. This definitely makes me very happy, and there's one downfall though. The nut on this bolt that's down here is being a bit of a pain in the butt. And what I mean by that is this one, the nut on the back side, they're like a crush nut. So basically, with those nuts, they have like a small pinch to them that give them that like security. They're the right pitch, the right size, like all that stuff. But if you use them too many times, that crush releases, and so then the threads won't necessarily hold. And that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now with that one. So I'm gonna have to order a new one for that one. And I gotta make an order anyway because I need to get a new assembly for the clutch and brake pedal. So I'll place that order. That'll probably be here in a couple days. All right, so I still have this to attend to. I have the core support, both sides to do on that, and then I actually have the cross member for the front end too that I need to get ready to paint and address. Just got a little bit of heavier rust scale on it, and so I'm actually going to hit this with that rust treatment that I have. Remove all of these little grommets on this piece, and then start scrubbing this down and getting that all treated, and then that'll be pretty easy. I should be able to just wire wheel it and get that done. But honestly, I think it's time for coffee right now. All right. I think Colombian sounds pretty good right now. Let's get that started. Toss in a scoop of protein. So one of the challenges going on right now with the car is budget. So I just spent $2,500 ordering the rack and pinion setup. So that's rack and pinion manual, along with the steering column for the Church Boys racing stuff. So there's $2,500. I think I spent $2,300 on the front suspension setup for the upper and lower control arms and the coilovers for it. Like, the front end's looking like it's going to be pretty set up. The annoying part budget-wise is I was just told by the engine builder when I talked to him last that he's not even the engine builder, he is the machinist, that on one hand he thinks that it should be sleeved, on the other hand he thinks he might be able to hone it out to about 65 thousandths, and then we might be able to do custom pistons for it, like whatever. I would much rather sleeve it at that point in time and then get standard bore pistons somewhere in the 11 to 12 range for the engine. And then he also said that the heads have been so worked that there's no possibility of putting in some hardened valve seats for it, because those heads have been apart since 1983. So, you know, it is what it is. So with that, unfortunately, I got to get new heads. I had a second set of 202 heads, but I sold them because I wanted the money, thinking that these heads were going to be reusable, and then lo and behold, they're not. So I did find some Brodix heads for a pretty good price. They will take a solid roller cam up to a 620 lift, and the machinist is saying like, oh, well, you're going to need to run a big cam if you're thinking about running 11 or 12 to 1 compression. And I was like, well, that was kind of the plan anyway. We want to really push the power really high in the RPM range, because it's not going to have great torque no matter what. It's a 302. And I need to know what he thinks a big cam is going to be. For a lot of people, a 620 max on those heads, that's a lot of cam. And most moderate street builds are in the 500s to 550s, and I'm trying to do a little bit more of an extreme build on this, but also, am I going to need additional machine work on the heads to accommodate for an even bigger lift, and so on. So I still have those conversations that need to be figured out, and it is what it is. So it's just kind of how these projects go, though. Whatever. The NHRA Winter Nationals are in, well, they start tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. So at Pomona, they probably start testing and qualifying tomorrow, or qualifying Friday, Saturday. I forget the structure, but I want to take Hillary for the first time. She's never been to a professional drag racing event, so I need to go online and pick up some tickets while I'm enjoying my coffee before I go back out and start working on cleaning the core support and the cross member. So I'm gonna get this done, enjoy my coffee, and then we'll be back outside plugging away. Okay, I figured I would save you guys all of the video of me wire wheeling and grinding this thing, because you guys have seen me do more than enough wire wheeling and grinding on my channel so far. So here it is, painted, just waiting to dry, so then I can put it on the front end, and then we can concentrate on the suspension reassembly after that, little by little. So let's try to pop this guy on, and it can look like a front end again. Maybe I shouldn't have put myself in here. Okay. Let's try. There we go. Try to edit that to make it look like I knew how to do this the first time. Hey, we've got ourselves a front end.
How's that feel?
I mean, it feels great to be here, and obviously it looks so much better
A million times.
than where we started with this thing, between getting all this pulled apart and done, and then also getting the floors done in here. Like, I am pretty happy.
Yeah. It looks real good.
And another step, so I can start to assemble everything that goes under here now.
Mm-hmm. Now you get to start rebuilding.
Little by little. Thank you, sweetie. Thanks for entertaining me. Love you too.